What's goody? What's goody? What's goody, everybody? This is Luke 1817. Y'all already know what time it is, man. You know, so we doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, just one at a time. One at a time. We doing our thing. So I hope everybody out there is having a good day. Hope everybody out there is blessed. You know what I'm saying? Taking your time, loving life, living through life, and being able to see things. As they're coming. So here today, and by the blessings of God, I'm able to be at the house. So, I just been seeing a lot. So I figured it would be best, even if not video wise, uh, to be able to come on and just talk to everybody about, things that are going on that I'm seeing. We all feeling it. We all going through it. We all having our, experience every day. Like it's different. Everybody's experience is different. People upgrading, people devolving. Some people think they're evolving and not evolving. It's just a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where we are. Now, when I got up this morning, I went on any particular type of mission. I was just vibing like I normally do, and I came across a video um, that supposedly there's been these, like glitches going on, or so-called glitches, right? And this was with Chase Bank, and it's a lot of younger people that are like jumping on it, like what I'm saying. Oh man, it's a money glitch. Like let's go get the money, which is it's a little niggerish. That's just our way. We see free money, we gone. You know what I mean? We own that. This is how we do. But as usual with most things, you know what I'm saying, we tend to take our time with the thought process and what actually goes into the thought process of what could potentially happen to us, and you know what I'm saying, how that's gonna affect our lives and the people around us. So all over the country, um, there's this glitch, and it's really not a glitch. Like it's always been there. You know what I'm saying? The ability to do this type of action is a thing that's been like kind of old school with Chase. Like they've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? But the new school been brought into it to understand it, and the way that they take it through their eyes, because they look at the world a lot different than the older people. Older people would have never been like, oh, let me just go maximize it out, let me go try it, YOLO. You only live one time, let's see how far I can push the limits. Older people would have respected it more. Okay, so supposedly TikTok, and this is the thing about social media, like you know what I'm saying, we talk through social media. Yeah, we talking through social media now, but the thing about social media is that it is like a double-edged sword. Like much good as it can bring into the world, if used properly, it can bring just that much more destruction. So the younger people have been getting this awareness, or it's been brought to their awareness that there's this glitch at Chase Bank. That if you go into the bank, now listen, I'm gonna explain the glitch to you. I'm gonna explain how they looking at it as a glitch. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna go down a rabbit hole with this one, because it's really tied into a lot more than just the surface level, as usual. So the glitch goes like this: you go into the bank, you get a check, right, and you write a check to yourself for whatever amount that you can think of. Some people going in there 10,000. Some people going in there 30 grand. They've had some 150,000, 200,000, and they're taking these checks into the bank. Okay, from Chase Bank. Now Chase has a rule with their bank that if you bring them a check, they'll deposit the check into the account, and they'll make funds available to you um, in the account while they're clearing the check. This is how Chase get down. So a lot of these people going and cashing these $100-something checks, they getting $30,000 approved to their account, and they go instantly and go take all the money out. You know what I'm saying? In true niggerish fashion. This is just how we get down. So now the TikTok wave was going on months. You know what I'm saying? It's been going on. People have been moving like this. And now here today, we're finding reports that People are waking up and their accounts is in the negative by 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand. Okay. And these things continue to keep replicating. So now those same people are now in debt, right? So the thing that I said earlier about us not thinking, we don't think because we're unable to see, because a lot of us are not taught about how to properly look at the world that we're in. So therefore, and I say this all the time too, you know what I'm saying, the people that's close to me, and you know what I mean, the people that the people that are able to, like, that I interact with, I'm able to interact with on a daily. I say this to them all the time, that until you realize and learn who you are in this game, none of this is going to make any sense. It won't make any sense until you realize who you are in this, because that's what's important. See, the tricks, you understand, the tricks and the gimmicks that are happening in our world today seem to be majority happening to melanated people. And I don't think anybody's really noticing that and paying attention to that, as deep as they should be, that a lot of these scams and tricks and schemes, they seem to be targeted directly at melanated people. Like, directly. Everybody else, the little few casualties that they get from their side, from the other foreign nations, yeah, you got a few here and there that try to be down, that want to be a part of, you know what I'm saying? And they can go down with sometimes. But for the majority of it, when it comes to bad food, now we're realizing that, hey, the grocery stores on this side of town don't carry the type of groceries that's on this side of town. What's the difference? And you get on TikTok and you see people doing little experiments with the food to find that the cabbage is covered up in plastic. The top leaves is plastic. Like, what? They just made to look like cabbage leaves? What? What? Who would do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you? But it's a certain form of kill slow that we seem to be living in this hour, and we don't understand. You know what I'm saying? For Chase, first of all, Chase is a nationally syndicated bank, backed by the federal government. So they've been around long enough to become a staple in the society. Okay? There's no way in hell you can expect that every major city in the country that's caught wind of this so-called Chase Bank glitch, and all these people run into Chase banks all over the country at the same time, that there's not an awareness that this is going on. Okay, so nothing is free. You don't get to take out things for free and think that they don't get returned later. It's going to happen, especially when you're dealing with the corporate agenda. Now, I'm gonna show y'all what a test was, because we forget things very, very quickly. We always do. So we don't realize when we're in a testing phase of something. Okay, so the test was the PPP loan. That was the testing phase, to see if we can get these people to move towards this type of scam and mess themselves up. Now look, there was so much money. Now we can go down multiple different areas to talk about where the money came from for the PPP loan, what the money was supposed to be used for, because technically nobody did anything illegal. If you know what the money was originally supposed to be used for, those are different conversations. But the fact that people were able to manipulate the documents, the government documents, send them in, and still get a check, lets you know that you're in a testing phase of what's to come. So now what are we looking at? Chase Bank it was leaked out supposedly that Chase does this thing. Now, what do I look like as a 21-year-old person bringing a $150,000 personal check to a Chase Bank, and they cash it? They accept it and cash it. And then right behind me, because you already know that if they went with their homies. You know what I'm saying? You know their homies there. So they're going to put their people on. So now right behind me is an 18-year-old with a $75,000 personal check written to himself at Chase Bank. Okay, now, if you've been following YouTube, which a lot of people out there do, because a lot of these type of videos get traction, like people going into the bank with fraudulent checks, then next thing you know, they call the police, and the police come pick them up right there on the spot. Why is that not happening now? That's been a thing that's been going to past, and it picked up since 2020 now. Since we went on that COVID thing, 2020, those fraudulent checks increased. So they were calling the police on people while they're at the bank. First quarter. Check fraud, check fraud, check fraud. Okay? Why is nobody being picked up for this? Interesting. So again, we don't understand the timeline of events and when we're in a testing phase versus when we're in the actual criminalization phase, because there's a difference. When you're dealing with the federal government or the Fed, there's a certain level you have to get to with trying to scam the Fed. You have to reach millions of dollars in order to get the attention of the Fed in most cases. You have to be like some big mafia style, kingpin type to get most times to get the attention of the Fed. Big stuff. When you come down to a corporate level, $10,000 in theft is a felony. Okay, that's a felony. 10 grand, just 10 grand. So when you write a check to yourself for an undisclosed amount that you know you don't have in the bank, and then you sign that check, you print you sign your legible name on that check, and then you cash it into the system, that's called check fraud. Punishable by a maximum of 20 years. Okay? Check fraud. Instead of catching people one by one, it's much better for them to incriminate themselves on an actual system, and they sit there and take the money away from their own self because they don't understand. Look, like I said, there's multiple rabbit holes we can go down, because in another world, in this world, writing a check to yourself is really a thing. However, it involves understanding how to process paperwork through the Federal Reserve Bank in order to tap into what's called your strawman account, the strawman existence account, which we've had conversations about this before, and we could talk about this, more in the future. But there are ways to tap into the Federal Reserve account, going through the banks, but that's not what these people are doing. See, this is why I say social media is dangerous, because and I'm gonna put it in these numbers so they can take the proper perspective. So for every one person that comes along that's really a teacher, that's really taking you somewhere, really giving you edifying information. For every one teacher, you get 20 of these plug and plays. I came across a book, so I read that book, so I think I know everything. I haven't lived the experience. I haven't, taken other courses or other directions within the same mind frame, to come to a more full conclusion of the reality. I haven't done it yet. I just read one book, and I think I know everything. There's a lot of people out there doing that. And those people are leaving the experimentation part up to their audience. You know what I'm saying? They're not actually applying these things to their life until they see what you go through. And if you make it out, then they'll go apply. It's a lot of this going on. So there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on with who are actual teachers out here and who are actually meant to guide people to a new reality. Okay, so because there are so few teachers, many are called, only a few are chosen. Many are called, many think that they're it. Only a few are actually the real deal. Okay? Because there's so many that think that they're it, there are going to be 10 times as many that are going to be lost under their guidance. The unfortunate part is that in this hour, we have been taught to maximize the depraved. That's what we've been taught to do. We maximize the depravity. That's true. Yep. Mama Magic. That's right. That's facts. We've been taught to maximize the depravity. You understand? So anything that's the most debilitating to our people, the most run down, the most trash, anything that's depraved, that's what we take and we maximize that to the top. So now you get shows on TV like P Valley, all out in your face. This is depraved. It's degrading to who our people actually are. But again, like we said in the beginning, all of this is predicated from not knowing who you are. It's really that simple, although it's that complex. Our world has been positioned in a way that there's a funnel around our people's mindset and our perspective on how life is supposed to be lived in this hour. It's only a few that are actually breaking out of this spell. We are in a literal spell. We're living a spell. Lovecraft Country told us that. Lee Daniels, that's why they don't permit him to make another one. We're living under a spell. And only a few of us can see our way out. So because of that aspect, the internet now becomes a thing. And like I tell people all the time, whenever something is pushed in your face a lot, you have to begin to question it, because in this world that we're in, okay, things that are accepted in America are not accepted in other places, in other parts of the world, in other countries. Things that we are made to accept here in this country. So the iPhone, for instance, we all have them. We all got iMac computers. We all have these devices. But what we don't realize is that in a few years ago, there was bills that were passed, that were signed by all the cell companies, iPhone being the top, Apple being one of the top companies, that they would hand over the personal information of their consumer base in exchange for the government applying a certain form of internet over these things. So what I'm saying is this: we don't even know that we're not on the real internet. See, if you're old enough to understand this, the beginning of the internet, or the original internet back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, when you type something in the search bar on the internet, you got everything that was available to that topic from all over the world. You would see Chinese websites, African websites, you would see Russian websites. You didn't understand what it said, but you knew that you would see websites from different countries and different. That is the last time we were actually on the internet. We're not on the internet now. That's why you can get shadow banned. That's why your channel can get taken down. You community guidelines and all of this other kind of stuff, because we're not under the internet. We're under a contract right now. If you want to go on the internet and see people, look, people be trying to shine. This is what I'm saying. This is why, like, society, social media, all of it. So it's a double-edged sword. As much as it educates you, it makes you weak. If you're not paying attention, it'll make you weak. If you want to go back and get on the real internet, then just go get you an old BlackBerry phone, because they still work. The old Blackberries, the old Nextels, the old HTC phones, the Razor phone, all of these type of old phones that we all had before, those phones still get on the regular internet. They're not underneath. That's why they push this iPhone and this Android Google thing so much, because without those devices, you won't be on the contracted internet that the government has set up in place that filters you out from the rest of the world. So all they got to do is click a button and all of these devices go down, and we around here looking crazy because we don't understand we're not on the internet. You see? The internet is a free-flowing vibration. Okay? It works as to copy the mind of a person. So the mind of a person, the synapses go off. They all interlink based on the message that they're given to specific parts of the brain in specific areas. So the internet works in the same way. You go from one IP address to another IP address. These are synapses and nodes in the brain. You understand? We are the body of Christ. So therefore, the things that you search for are going to create the connections between other things. This is the real internet. Now, what you have is, like we always get, we get a bastardized version of that reality, and then it gets overlapped, and we're forced to use that by the devices that they make us choose. See, this is what people don't know. When I was going to school, one of my professors, he would always travel. He was from Hindustan, and he always traveled back and forth between, and he would tell us that the devices that we're using in America, in China, they're trash. So like everybody's running for this iPhone 15 and iPhone 14 and all this, and they think that they have the most top of the line equipment. But when you go overseas to China, these things are $15 a piece, and the processing power is 4 times the amount of what the device you have in your hand. Okay, this is how much we're played. So once they bring in with the tariffs and transporting these items across the ocean, then somehow an item that's only $15 turns into $1,200. And on top of that, you can't even access the real internet. Go back and read your cell phone contracts because it's in there. Go read your cell phone contracts. It's in there. It may be worded weird, but it's in there. These are the things that we pay for. This is why we don't understand what we do. So when they give us a money glitch, the money glitch is a trap. See, if I have the ability to say that you committed check fraud on your own account, on your own person, but it's finable for up to maximum 20 years in prison. However, the majority of the people that are in line to do this are melanated. What is that? And they haven't even stopped these people from coming in. When you watch the videos, you can see literally the police is letting them in one by one. The bank is so full, there's a line outside, and the police is letting them in as one leave, one come in. One leave, one come in. Come on, y'all. No brain power? Just none? No brain power. You can't even see the trap for the fleas. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is what this microwave right now lifestyle gives you. You see what I'm saying? That is what that gives you. No thought process. Our children are not being taught things in school. We have to literally take up this responsibility at home, because when they're not being taught things, this is the top reality that they lean into: stupidity and ignorance, and they're literally signing their lives away. See, when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you can see the whole picture. How is it that Mississippi has now reenacted the Jim Crow laws, and now all over the country now people are committing check fraud? That's going to take you to what? Prison. You're going to prison. See, ever since the early 90s and the late 80s, the game has been to fill up the prisons. That's when they came to the music industry. They came to the entertainment industry, the movie industry. They came to these places that children love to watch, because those next generations of people, we need them groomed to go into these institutions. Without your help, it's going to take forever for them to even start paying attention to us. You see what I'm saying? So we've been breeding this ignorance into ourselves for years now. Now it's time to unbreed the ignorance as much as we can help it, because a lot of our people are going to be lost as a result of. We're signing contracts that there won't be any way out of. And we don't understand that we're doing that. We think we live in life. We get on TikTok, we flex it. Come on, man, you got to think about something. This TikTok thing, first of all, TikTok was brought online by China. That is China's technology. TikTok is China's technology. Now, it's been said that TikTok is being used as a way to spy and destabilize the current economy of America. Given what's been going on lately, I can agree with that to a certain extent. That it's being utilized to destabilize the economy, because the mindsets of the people that are using it, that are most active on it, their attention span is like a 2-year-old. Okay, so when you weaken the minds of the people, when the people can't think past the 6th or 7th grade level, when the people are not thought process enough to look at a critical problem and start to critically think about that problem, when you can't do that on the regular everyday man level, can you still trust those people to pick the right leadership? No. They're going to be deceived, right? Okay. Can you pick those people and ensure that those people are going to take the steps necessary to ensuring a solid future for their younger generations? No, because they can't think. They can't problem solve. They can't figure anything out. They're all totally dependent. And once they become totally dependent, this is all in the rule. This is in the law. The only reason that we have the government enacting in our way like this, or moving according to how they move according to us, they rule, we follow, is because we have contracted ourselves into a place of subservience by telling our government that we are not of age or political stature to stand on our own 2 feet. So they have to intervene as if we're children and take care of our affairs for us. Now you get welfare and child support and every other scam that's not doing nothing but raping the people dry. You don't get real answers and solutions because you're not even standing on your own 2 feet. You're still a baby that needs to be held in a cradle and told what to do because you can't do it for yourself. Meanwhile, the world exists where a man stands on his 2 feet and does his affairs for himself. That world also exists, but they're never going to tell you about that world because in that world you have what's called constitutional rights and they cannot be broken. You see, it's all, I don't want to say it's an illusion because we live it in real life. I could call it a game, but I feel like the word game makes it seem too simplistic. So I'm going to use design. This is a designed reality. And according to the mother that wrote the book for the Terminator and the Matrix, this is the Matrix. The Matrix only exists for the original people. The Matrix does not exist for anybody else. You understand? You can't expect an NPC is not going to wake up to see a Matrix. It doesn't work that way because it's not set up or designed for the other nations to be. They are only the pawns of the Matrix. I'll explain. A Matrix begins as an idea. A Matrix is a understanding amongst a group of people for an agenda. Now you create a fabric or a veil over a certain ideology or a certain reality or a certain truth, right? The lie or the falsehood predicated around the truth is the Matrix. That should say enough. We're going to go further though. Because if I have sat back and said that I want to create a matrix for this people because they have so much value and I want the value. Okay? So, however, there's no way for me to penetrate their natural system and way of life. They won't let me in. So how can I get into their way of life? Well, I know I'm going to have to use war because I'm a warlike people. So therefore, war is always going to be my first option to break the society. That's how I break into the society. However, these people are master warriors. They're 10 and 12 feet tall, 7, 8 feet tall. How am I going to get into that? I'm going to have to employ somebody else to do it for me. It's all, look at the way we set up businesses. We set up a matrix around our idea. Anytime you come into starting a business for yourself, you have to set up the matrix around the idea. So what's the first thing? You got to go get a business license, right? That ties you into what? The system, the matrix. You feel me? Then you got to get business insurance. That's another plug into the matrix, right? Then you got to go get a bank account. That's another plug into the matrix. Then you have to get a what's called a the EIN number. That's another plug into the federal matrix. We're all building matrices around ourselves and our ideas every day. Okay? So somebody has created the ultimate matrix around the totality of the mindset of the people. I can get them to agree with my idea. And once they agree with my idea, now they have given power to my matrix. The matrix is all about melanated people. Nobody else is involved in the matrix. There are only NPCs and non-playable characters. You know what I'm saying? Their minds are not used in the same way. It's very time for us to start separating ourselves from everybody else. We won't begin to understand who we are in its true entirety and why this game is being played until we can separate ourselves from the mindset of the foreign invader. It won't make sense. We keep running from each other and running into the arms of people that are not us. It doesn't make sense. But there's a reason for that, because the system has to predicate this type of mindset in our people in order for us to keep destroying ourselves. If a man come around you and he's on crack, he has no value, right? I'm not going to listen to him, even though he may have the most profound wisdom. But guess what? I'm not going to listen to him because of how the system makes him look. Oh, that man ain't got no money. I'm not going to listen to him. He don't got nothing to tell me. But you don't know the reason why he don't have no money. You don't know that his name has been selected and targeted out because he knows too much. And the system makes sure that this man don't get no money. But if you go and follow the spiritual practices of our people, the community is supposed to take care of the people that bring you wisdom and knowledge. So he shouldn't even have to be worried about no money in the first place. You see, it's time for us to separate from others to get back to us. Until we can do that, until we can separate from others to find our way back into us, we're still going to be roaming in the woods for the 40 days and 40 nights. We ain't come out of the wilderness yet. We haven't come out of the wilderness yet. We're still in here. We're still in here moving blind. You know what I'm saying? We hope we live in life right. So many of us keep dying, children dying, elders dying. You know what I'm saying? And they dying and going on and dying and going on. Then they come back because they believe in the Bible. They believe in Christianity. And Christianity says, after you die, then and only then, you're going to get a mansion for every person, right? Then you got a mansion. Then you got milk and honey. But you know what America has been called before 1600? The land that floweth with milk and honey. This was the description of India Superior, a.k.a. Turtle Island, a.k.a. America. The land that flows with. So our ancestors have literally been in heaven the whole time and they didn't even know it. And you tell me we're not under a spell. Okay. Telling me we're not under a spell. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the spell every day. I go outside, I see it. I look into the eyes of my people while they standing on the corner asking for spare change and don't even realize who they are and what land they're standing on and who's really the fraudulent ones here, who's really the slaves, who's really the welfare recipients, who's really coming to somebody else's land looking for a handout and looking to steal, kill, and destroy. The description of the devil that the Bible speaks of. And what do our people do? We fall in line with kumbaya because we're taught to be peaceful when the sun is telling you to be violent. It's an amazing time right now to be alive, man, because it's amazing to see, like, and then you can't help but wonder, like what's next? What's going to happen next? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot brewing. You know, it's not just, we've seen, there are reports of 7 suns in the sky. Like, they're planets coming into planetary alignment with we're on a different timeline, which requires a new thought process in order to get different actions and reactions, put ourselves into a different bracket, a different space. So we don't have to go to Chase Bank and pull no scam. We'll understand where the money really is. And we'll change our mind about it. You feel me? It don't make sense to be greedy. What is the purpose of greed? Even if you get some money today, let's just say for today, I work all week, and today I get paid. Okay, I get paid today. Boom. That's still not enough money. You feel me? Because even over the course of that week, I've accumulated more debt than that money. So now I got to go looking for more. See what I'm saying? Money is the root of the evil. It's the root of it. It's not the cause. The person is the cause. The money is the root of it. Because feeling like that is what's going to sustain life day to day to day. No, the thing that sustains life day to day to day is interactions between people. That is what sustains life day to day to day. The interactions between people. Money doesn't exchange without hands. It's the people. So what we've done is we've put the wrong people in charge of our flow. We keep putting the wrong people in charge of the financial flow, the spiritual flow, the mental flow. We keep putting the wrong people in these places. And it's sad because when they teach us away from what's real, we don't even know that we've been led to further into the wilderness, led astray. We don't even know. We don't even realize. Remember I told y'all before, there was a time that they could not take no $20 bill and try to hand it to somebody. This was not that far ago. This wasn't that long ago. Early 1900s, they couldn't go take them. They had to go have what's called a gold certificate. You had to exchange that for the equipment. I had to be able to see the physical gold. What is this? Now we accept that. We flashing that on TikTok like that's the ultimate. We don't even understand because we have allowed the overlapping system to rule the society. The falsehood, which is still standing on the true government, which was erected for the people. But the people don't know who they are. See, we the people, we think that's talking about every person in America. No. You can't have a domestic contract that covers foreign people. It don't work like that. A domestic contract doesn't cover foreign people. A domestic contract covers the descendants of the original. That's who that's for. So everybody else is just trying to figure out a way to get into it. You see? So this whole thing about banking and how to manipulate the banks and the straw man account into the Federal Reserve, the only people who are supposed to have access to this are the original people because they're the only ones that have value of this land. The original people of the land are the only ones that can have any value in the land. Everybody else has false value, fraudulent contracts. That's all that they can live under because they're foreigners. They don't belong here. They don't come from here. Their bloodline didn't originate here. So they have no value. How is it that we're the poorest or whatever they say about our nation, but we spend the most money every year? How does that work? How can we be the poorest people and spend the most money? Somebody explain that to me, how that works. How? You think we're spending the most money because we're going to work and getting dollars and getting checks that we put inside of a bank account to this, to that? No. It doesn't work like that. See, we don't understand how the money flows because when you get that check, like those people we talk about at Chase Bank, when you get the check and you sign your signature, because, hey, you got to understand, the government knows who you are. The banks know who you are. They understand the true identity of the original people because the original people misclassify themselves every day. Black, African American, Negro. They misclassify themselves. However, your signature still weighs the same as the original people on this land. So when you hand them that check, it's like they just hit cold every time. Okay? So if I'm standing in line with 30 more people that look just like me, and each one of us have $1,000 check, when I go take and sign that check is now officially money. It is now officially legal tender because of my signature. Now, mind you now, foreign nations come in and they provide signature as well to make transactions that look almost similar to yours, but they're not quite the same. Let's break it down. Somebody has to talk about how this world connects to the original bloodline. Because like I said in earlier videos, this is all about a bloodline birthright, and a bloodline curse. There are those that are cursed. There are those that have the birthright. The ones who are cursed have to manipulate and coerce themselves into receiving of the birthright that they don't have. What is the birthright? Melanin. Melanistic principles that only melanin can pull, frequencies that only melanin can access. Birthright. Look, While we're standing in line at the bank, and I sign my signature. Now, mind you, now 30 more people. Each one of us got $1,000. That's $30,000, right? Once I sign my signature, that becomes legal tender on the system. So now it can be traded. Okay? My signature is worth gold because my blood is original. Okay? So now once I sign that signature and hand that check over, in the actual computer, they're gonna put in the recipient's or the beneficiary name of me. They're gonna put a debit of $1,000. Oh, I'm sorry, a credit of $1,000. Now on the other side, because they got to balance the scales, that ledger is open to be filled with whatever it needs to be filled. What I mean by that, I can put that open ledger to say 100,000. Now that document that you just gave me, I can sell that 100 times to get to equal the amount of $100,000. Whereas I only gave you the original signatory, which you're really the only person, you're the fiduciary for the account. So everything, any type of money that is gained off of your signature is supposed to go to you. However, the banks don't tell you this. So they give you the $1,000 that you think is the value of the check. And you hand them the check and they make 100,000. That $100,000 is then held in what's called an escrow account. Okay, all of this is the rules of commerce. You can go read up the banking codes. It's all there. It's held in an escrow account until it reaches maturity. Once it reaches the maturity, the bank now, because it's pretty much classified as abandoned property. The bank now can write the Federal Reserve Bank and say, hey, this person has this amount in an account and it's essentially been abandoned. Can we have it? The Federal Reserve says, yes. That's how banks get rich. Okay? Using the signatures of the original people. So while we out here spinning our wheels, running out here looking for a job, looking for 2 jobs, looking for 3 jobs. Okay? You don't even want me to talk about income tax time. Okay? We don't understand who we are. We don't understand where we're headed in this timeline right now. And it is really, really showing in our people more and more, especially our young people, as much as they need our guidance and help. See, videos like this won't get shared because the videos like this, these are the ones that, you know what I'm saying, people want to listen to it, they want to be the one. It's like, just give it to the people. Just share it. Everybody listening right now, share this shit. I'm going to share it everywhere I know to share it. Share it. Because it has to cross the threshold to get into the hands of our children. You feel me? Because at a certain point, the system is guiding them to make decisions for themselves. Our children are more independent. They're being born more independent. Yeah, they love you, but I'm finna go over here and go see what's over there. I'll be back. More and more of our children are becoming more and more independent, and they're going to need guidance and leadership in order to make sure that you can send them out there and that what you teach them, they won't go astray from it as parents. So, yeah, you know, it's been an interesting conversation, man. So we're going to be doing this a lot more. I appreciate everybody tuned in. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, man, share this with your people. You know what I'm saying? I have a camera here shortly, man, so we'll be able to set that up and keep this thing going, man, because there's a lot we got to discuss. You know what I'm saying? What we do today, 45, that's cool. I appreciate y'all, like I said. Y'all tune back in with me tomorrow, man. I'll be back in the morning. Peace.